I'm going to do this next video in two parts. First, I'm going to demonstrate how to make a subtractive monotype, and then the second part of the video, the second video is going to be how to print a subtractive monotype, okay? So the first step, the first thing that's important to do, if you're using Reeves BFK, remember when we did the trace monotype, we just left the paper dry when we printed it. But for this, to really push into those lower areas and to get a good contrast between black and white, we actually want to soak this paper because it's so thick and so dense, it doesn't really want to push in to the ink. So what we're going to do is we're going to soak it, and we have a soaking tray that's over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this sheet of paper. It's not a bad idea if there's a bunch of people in the class to write your initials on the paper, so that way you know which one is yours. But do it on the back side because it won't erase. We're just going to submerge it into this tray of water. The next step will be, if you remember, we inked this up, and I'm actually using the same starting point as the ink from my trace monotype. And I still have a little bit of residual of that mark. Subtractive is basically just that. We're going to take away ink in an artistic way. And to do that, you could use rags, brushes, Q-tips. You could draw back into it. I'm going to put my glove on. Put the gloves back on because I'm going to get a little bit messy. So I can see, might be able to as well, where my image was, where my boombox was. And I'm going to use that to kind of develop an image here. And I can look back at my original to kind of copy and pull out some of that ink, just using the Q-tip as a drawing device, like so, to subtract out the ink. After a while, your Q-tip will get a little inky, and you might want to switch sides or switch Q-tips. And you can see I'm just kind of developing this image based on what was already there, kind of subtracted from the ink. You can see the pencil marks from the trace monotype. You can see also in terms of where it says, yo, boom. I better draw that backwards because this is going to become a mirror image. Now, inevitably, some of you will probably forget. You're going to wind up with some backward text at some point this semester. That's all good. Just kind of keep in mind that idea of mirroring things. So I can also kind of go back with a rag here, kind of develop things further. On my boombox. This could either be like the coolest shit you've ever seen or like straight whack. It really depends. It can have some really, really cool effects. And bear in mind, I'm just doing this for the sake of demonstration. So I'm pulling out ink. And sometimes it's a good idea to hold it up to the light backwards because you can kind of see how your image is developing. Again, you could take a pencil as well if you wanted to kind of draw like a little bit into here. These marks will show up as well. And then you can hold it up and see what we're working with. The second part of this video, I'm going to show y'all how to print this, okay?